In continuing election coverage tonight, Ada County started out mailing out absentee ballots this week. Election reporter Nicole Camarda learned more about how the signatures on the back of each ballot are compared and what might cause your ballot to be rejected.
Once your ballot is received by the clerk's office, they timestamp it and then check your signature. Ada County Clerk Phil McGrain says that the #1 problem the Ada County Election Office sees with absentee ballots is a missing signature.
Ultimately, if it's not signed, we can't verify the authenticity of that ballot, and so we can't count it.
Each ballot has an affidavit on the back verifying your identity. Once the ballot is received, every signature is compared to the voter's registration card or driver's license application.
And what we're looking for is just to validate the voter is who they say they are when they vote. It's just an effort to prevent voter fraud and to maintain the integrity of the process.
Since signatures are compared to previous ones you may have even written when you were 18, some might wonder, does it need to be a perfect match? And the answer is no. Staff is trained to compare these different signatures. Also, what happens if you sign differently each time? For example, if your name is John Doe, and sometimes you sign Jonathan Doe, other times you sign John Doe, and sometimes you sign J Doe, those will all still count.
People's signatures don't vary that much. When you compare them against hordes of other signatures, it's amazing to see how distinct they actually are. And so anytime we reject one too, we have multiple eyes on one of those before we do. We do see some signatures that don't match. We will, reject those, but we'll also make an effort to reach out to the voter.
During the May election earlier this year, 96,000 people voted through absentee in Ada County. Out of those ballots, only 0.6% of the ballots were rejected, and 3/4 of them were because someone forgot to sign.
That's by far and away the #1 issue. We also see things where the wrong person signs, a roommate signs the other person's ballot. We work through a variety of issues, and only a small fraction are ones that we actually have to look into for potential voter fraud.
So when you're sending your absentee ballot back, make sure you're signing your ballot and not somebody else's. Absentee ballots must be returned to the clerk's office by 8 p.m. on November 3rd. I'm Nicole Camarda, Idaho News 6.
In Idaho, we've been living with the coronavirus pandemic for 5 months, and from the beginning, we've told you that the nursing homes have been severely affected by COVID-19 across the country and especially in the Gem State. Idaho News 6 reporter Nicole Camarda spoke with the United States Surgeon General about what's being done to protect the most vulnerable population.
One of the things we need to continue to stay vigilant about is protecting the vulnerable.
The vulnerable, meaning the elderly population who often reside in nursing homes. According to Idaho Division of Public Health's data dashboard, people over the age of 70 make up more than 2,100 positive COVID-19 cases in Idaho, as well as more than 200 of the state's deaths to the virus. What is being done for nursing homes, and what kind of advice can you give for the people in those nursing homes and the families who are struggling to kind of get in and know what's going on?
This disease still can wreak havoc if it gets into a nursing home, if it gets into a facility where you have vulnerable people close together. So the people of Idaho need to understand the importance of decreasing community spread, because just because you're not in an at-risk group doesn't mean you can't get the disease and spread it to your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunt, your uncle, someone that you love.
Dr. Adams says that from a federal perspective, more PPE has been available in nursing homes across the country.
We've increased testing supplies and personal protective equipment, gowns, gloves, and masks for nursing homes. We're increasing inspection and support for inspection of those nursing homes.
And Dr. Adams says people who are older or have chronic medical conditions are particularly high risk for complications and death from COVID-19.
And we're encouraging nursing homes to do everything they can to make sure they're protecting the vulnerable while we lower the spread of disease in communities.
Nicole Camarda, Idaho News 6.
As we've reported earlier, Dr. Adams and Dr. Anthony Fauci hope that there will be a vaccine by the end of this year or the beginning of next year. Make sure you head to our website, idahonews6.com, to learn more. Meridian Canine Rescue held its first unforgettable charity golf tournament last week. Idaho News 6 reporter Nicole Camarda caught up with some of the players and pups out on the course. A hole-in-one for a good cause and puppy paws.
About 125 golfers gathered on the green to support Meridian Canine Rescue's first charity golf tournament.
We had to cancel all of our in-person events, so we really tried to think outside the box and decide what we could come up with that would be a way to raise funds and be outside.
And hitting the links was the perfect way to raise money for Meridian Canine's rescue dogs and get the community involved.
We've had a huge community support.
A handful of local companies not only had teams playing, but also sponsored the event.
Pet IQ is here today sponsoring this incredible golf tournament put on by the Meridian Canine Rescue. Pet IQ is really just about pet health, pet wellness, and so we love to be out here in the community supporting a local rescue.
And some players even came from other states for a chance to swing for charity.
A bunch of us came up from Portland, flew in yesterday, and yeah, wanted to support the cause. Any chance to give back, especially for the canines, yeah, we're all about it.
I honestly never expected this big of a turnout. We were going to be excited if we hit $5,000, and we're projecting today to double that.
Meridian Canine Rescue says they plan on making this golf tournament a yearly tradition to help raise money for their four-legged friends.
I think this will definitely become an annual tournament. I think this was just a great turnout, and it was a nice way to kick off the fall.
In Meridian, Nicole Camarda, Idaho News 6.